Hey everyone, Jason Odell here, and today I just got a big delivery from my friends at B&H where I just put in an order for a new system. Um, for a long time, I've been talking about getting a smaller camera system to use with my travel photography, especially workshops that involve going on cruises or traveling to Europe where you just want a smaller kit. And I've been talking about Olympus system for quite some time, but I finally decided I would get one, not to replace what I'm currently having, but to sort of supplement it. So I'm going to unbox all these goodies today. I've got the Olympus OM1 flagship mirrorless camera, micro four thirds format, and then the 8 to 25, 12 to 45, 40 to 150, and finally 100 to 400 lens. So for the most part, this is an equivalent range of a 16 to 300 we got here. So this is like 16 to 50 in 35 millimeter format. This is 24 to 90 in 35 millimeter format. This is an 80 to 300 in 35 millimeter format. And this bad boy is a 200 to 800 millimeter zoom lens in 35 millimeter format. So this is all because of the Olympus Micro Four Thirds system. So let's open this stuff up and see what we get. Okay, so where should we start? I'm going to start with the camera body itself, the Olympus OM system, I should say OM1. So let's open this up. I can find the little pull tab. Now, when you unpackage your stuff, it's always a good idea to just put the registration card and instructions somewhere safe. So, of course, here's the gigantic owner's manual. Of course, I'll go and download the PDF to view on my computer, a USB-C charging cable, and the warranty card. So put that in a safe place before you lose it. I like to keep it in the box with my camera gear. And here is this very nicely padded camera. Let's take a look at this. Lots of bubble wrap, but here we go. This feels very nice in my hand. It's about very similar size to the Nikon Z6 and Z7 II that I've been using in the past. So if you want to find out more on why I'm considering why I purchased this system, listen to my Image Doctors podcast this week. We're going to be talking about this system. All right, what else is in the box here? Probably just the accessories, the normal stuff. We got a secondary box here. There's the battery, which I'll need to charge up. A little pouch, charging cord adapter, USB-C plug. See, that's the battery. This little gizmo, something different. Let's see what it is. Oh, comes with a little flash unit. How cute. That's nice. Little emergency flash. Didn't know that was coming. Little cable adapter, lock, and of course the strap. So that all comes with the accessories. There's the cable locks, which I rarely use, but it's nice to have them. So if you don't use your accessories, or you're not planning on using, say, the camera strap, just keep it in the original box. That'll come in handy if you ever choose to sell the camera. You need to find where you stuck it. So have all that, but that's a very cool thing. So that is the OM1 camera. Again, if you want to find out why I chose this, tune in to the Image Doctors podcast this week, and you'll see that. All right, now let's move on to the lenses. And again, I bought a trio of lenses. I purchased these so that I would have full coverage. But on a lot of travel photography tours that I do, you're going to probably have one, maybe two of these, just depending on your needs. So pair the wide angle with the standard zoom, or maybe the standard zoom with the telephoto zoom. So let's just put these out in order. So I'll start with the wide lens. This is the 8 to 25 F4 Pro from Olympus. So the constant F4 aperture, again, warranty cards, lens hood, lens pouch, save these things, and then the lens itself. I'm going to put all these things back in here. And let's take a look at this guy. Solid, very solid. That's my first impression. Focus ring is smooth. Zoom ring is absolutely smooth. Well-built lens. Not super light, but it's still much lighter than a lot of other lenses. It has a, what do we got here? Looks like a 72 millimeter front filter, so it can take filters no problem. That's one reason I like this design. Wider lenses sometimes have those bulbous front elements. You can't put filters on them. So I like this one. That's kind of nice. So we're going to set it right here. Go with the OM1. We'll put its hood on later. Moving on, our mid-range zoom. So this is the 12 to 45, and it's also a constant F4 Pro design, meaning it's weather sealed and that kind of thing, which is nice if you ever find yourself in a rainstorm. Instructions, warranty card, and pouch. And the lens itself and its hood accessory. So again, now this guy, little one, is teeny. And that's wonderful. So this is the equivalent again of a 24 to 90 millimeter f4 lens if you were in 35 millimeter format. Again, very smooth construction. Everything feels built well. It has a 58 millimeter, I believe, front filter. Takes that. And it weighs, very little. So I wouldn't call it, it's all metal, so it feels solid, but it is not heavy at all. So excellent option there if you want to go small. Okay, the last one in my three lens trio is the 40 to 150. Again, a constant f4, so they call it a pro lens, weather sealed, etc. This is 80 to 300 millimeter equivalent. This is an 80 to 300 millimeter equivalent in 35 millimeter format. I'm gonna have a lot of paperwork to deal with later. Take it out along with its hood. So set this stuff aside and we'll unwrap it. Again, feels very solid, but not heavy, just solid. Um, again, a little bit bigger than its cousin, but still, considering that this is the equivalent of an 80 to 300, think about what a full frame lens might be. Lens cap here, we've got a 62 millimeter filter. So I've done the trifecta. I've got three different filter sizes. Oh well. Here's the zoom. You can see it extends slightly. 40 to 150, manual focus ring, and no other switches on this lens. But very nice. So here's a trio of lenses, which are all for the OM system. They still say Olympus on them, along with the OM1 camera. So this entire kit together weighs about 3.5 pounds. And that's a real a bonus when you're traveling. Okay, last but not least, the big lens. I intend to use this 100 to 400 for travel where there's wildlife opportunities. So, for example, if you're on a Alaska cruise or something, which is what I will be doing this summer, this is going to be really handy shooting from the deck of that ship. This is a variable aperture lens, but it's still quite good. It's an f5.0 to 6.3. It has image stabilization. And again, it's the equivalent of a 200 to 400 millimeter, or excuse me, a 200 to 800 millimeter lens. We're talking, that's a big lens on 35 millimeter format. Let's see how large this one is. We've got some foam in here. Need to remove. Nice big chunk of it. There's the lens itself, and then hiding in here is the lens hood. Okay, I'm going to open this one up. And here we have it. The 100 to 400 f5 to 6.3. Um, what I like about this lens, I'm just looking at it here, a couple of things to notice. First of all, it weighs a little under 3 pounds. It's like 2.6. It's just under. I want to say the lens is somewhere around 1,200 grams. Add in the collar, it's another 200 grams. The rotating collar is removable, so you can take it off. But one thing I noticed about it, just looking at it here, is in addition to the standard tripod thread, this has a dovetail. So if you're using an Arca Swiss type of clamp on a monopod or a tripod, it's built in for you. You don't have to buy a third-party foot. The zoom action, pretty smooth, and most importantly, um, it zooms in about, oh, I don't know, quarter of a turn, which is nice, meaning you can zoom more quickly. This one takes a 72 millimeter front filter. And then there's some limiter switches on the side of this lens, some switches, and I'll tell you what they say. The first one is the focus limiter, which is you got full range, which is 1.3 meters minimum to infinity. Then you have another setting here, which is 1.3 to 6 meters, so a short distance. I love a setting like that, and I wish more lenses had it. And then lastly is the distant subject setting, 6 meters to infinity. Autofocus, manual focus override, and then the image stabilizer on or off. And one thing I've read, and I'm going to test this more with the OM1, is that I've heard that the in-body stabilization of the Olympus cameras is actually better, more stops, at least with the newer ones, than the lens stabilization itself. So I'm going to have to compare that and try that out. But again, you can see that this lens really isn't much. I mean, this is actually smaller than some 70 to 200 f2.8 lenses that I've used in the past on full frame. This is an 800 equivalent. I'm really excited to try this out. It's gonna be a little while, but I'm gonna look for some places to shoot. Until next time, don't forget to watch or tune in to the Image Doctors podcast, where I talk about some rationale for purchasing the Olympus system, and follow me at luminescentphoto.com. Until next time, I'm Jason Odell.